We start tonight with some breaking news.
5 people, including 3 children, are dead after a head-on crash south of Franktown in Douglas County. 9 News reporter Spencer Soysher is in Franktown for us tonight. Spencer, we know that 2 other kids survived the crash. They went to the hospital.
Yeah, so 7 total, 5 dead, 2 kids, like you mentioned, in the hospital. This happened in a pretty rural area south of Franktown at about 4:40 this afternoon. Colorado State Patrol says the driver of a small Toyota sedan was headed south on Highway 83 and lost control into the right shoulder. CSP described that the driver tried to correct it and then crashed head-on into another car headed in the northbound lane. The driver of the Toyota was thrown from the car and killed. The sedan that they crashed into had an adult driver and 5 kids inside of it. That driver and 3 of the kids inside the car were killed. The other 2 flown to a hospital near here. So you heard him.
They went off onto the right shoulder before coming back onto the road where it began to rotate. It then went in front of Vehicle 2, where Vehicle 2 was struck head-on. Vehicle 1 then rolled and came into contact with the front of Vehicle 3, which is that Ford F-250.
So that third car that he mentioned there, the truck, that only involved minor damage and was hit after that first driver. The car of the first driver continued to go. Right now, we don't have any information on the kids who are in the hospital, and CSP says they're still investigating the circumstances around this crash. Live in Franktown, Spencer Soysher, 9 News.
Speaking of weather tonight, a cold front is coming through tomorrow with temperatures dropping. Denver is preparing to open up its cold weather shelters. All shelters are pet friendly. They have security. They have food and showers, blankets. They will open at 1 tomorrow afternoon. They're expected to close 11 Wednesday morning. 9 News Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin is here with your forecast. The shift is coming our way. When will it hit? Tomorrow morning?
Yeah, we had a weak wave come through today. We have another one coming through tomorrow. It will be a dry weather system for Denver, but temperatures in the next couple of nights will drop into the lower and middle 20s. And this system may offer a little bit of light snow to the northern mountains, but it's a fairly weak system, but certainly cold with lows 22 to about 24 both tomorrow night and also Wednesday night. Tonight, the talk was all about the sunset. It was beautiful in areas like Grand Lake. This picture coming in from the Boulder area, even up in Winter Park. I mean, orange, red, pink, purple, beautiful sight. We have 50s along the Front Range, even though the sun has set. Another mild afternoon, but wow, is the wind picking up. In advance of that front, along the foothills, we have a gust of 30 and 40 miles per hour. Last night's storm system is off to the east of us. It has created tornadoes in central Texas, tornado warnings in Houston, and they're still dealing with the threat of severe weather along a line up to Memphis tonight and St. Louis. Cold and snow from Rapid City back to Billings. There's a bit of a blizzard in central Montana. Thousands of people without power as this weather system misses Colorado, but does bring in some cool air tonight and tomorrow, and maybe enough moisture for a couple of snow showers in the northern and central mountains. We don't have any advisories for snow or travel, and the light accumulation from Steamboat, Walden, Aspen down to Crested Butte is welcome. Temperatures in the 50s now, 40s during the overnight time period. Coming up, we have that evening cool front coming in, another system tomorrow. Generally a good week for holiday travelers, but it is all eyes on next weekend for a blast of cold and potential metro snow.
The death of a climbing guide in Idaho Springs was operator error, according to state investigators. 26-year-old Olivia Copeland died September 20th after falling during a tour of the Via Ferrata course on Mount Blue Sky. She was working for AVA, Arkansas Valley Adventures. A report from state regulators says Copeland was not properly connected to a rope and was not wearing the right footwear. The report also found AVA did not properly train its staff or maintain proper records. AVA is part of a company called the Outlaw Group. Its CEO told us she does not agree with the findings of the investigation, and the company will meet with state regulators. There's a separate investigation by OSHA that's still happening. Coloradans may have had personal information compromised in a cyber attack on CodeRED.
That's what several counties in our state use to notify people of emergencies like fires and floods. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch joins us after speaking with the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, where tens of thousands are opted in.
Kyle, Alex, we're talking names, phone numbers, addresses, and passwords for all of the users that opted in to CodeRED. DCSO says there isn't anything to indicate that that information has been published online, but still, they wanted to let people know about the possible leak. It's the alert nobody wants to see. A possible data breach may have leaked sensitive information.
For us, CodeRED has always worked, unfortunately, until it didn't.
According to the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, a group of cybercriminals targeted CodeRED, a mobile emergency alert app.
Yes.
Taylor Davis is the Division Chief of Support Services. She says about 30 to 50% of the county uses CodeRED.
We have 88,000 landlines that are opted into CodeRED, and then we have about 130,000 cell phone users.
Davis says dispatchers had issues accessing the platform November 10th. She says less than 2 weeks later, CodeRED informed the Sheriff's Office of the data breach.
Just about a month ago, we did pay almost a $65,000 contract to CodeRED. The legal team for the 911 board is working on what this means for our contract. Will we get any money back? Are we going to try to fight to get money back?
Davis says the plan is to onboard another alert system before the end of the year, but she knows users may be more cautious to opt in to a new service.
Obviously, we want folks to opt into this system. We think there's a lot of value in it. But if people choose not to because they don't trust it, we respect that as well.
Davis adds once a new company is selected, CodeRED users may get a text where they can choose to opt in or out.
The hope is that with a new company and that we're not staying with CodeRED, just hoping that they can get the issues fixed, that'll help maybe some of the trust issues that are there now.
She says in the meantime, emergency notifications won't go away. Davis says they're going door to door and using social media to keep people safe and informed.
We have to tell people what's going on in their neighborhood.
The data breach also impacted Weld County. They're using another emergency alert system through Larimer County. We also know that Arapahoe County began the process of moving away from CodeRED in October. Still, they did notify people on social media about the data breach. CodeRED did not respond to our request for information tonight. Live in Denver, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
2 former Denver police officers fired for joking about shooting migrants are back working in law enforcement. Last year, we reported on the terminations of Megan Joy, Scott Perschetti, and Rodrigo Basurto. They made jokes in a text thread talking about target practice at migrant shelters. 9 News Investigates has learned that Basurto has recently been hired as an officer in the city of Sheridan, just south of Denver. And Perschetti has been hired by the town of Keensburg, just south of Greeley. He's training to be a school resource officer. That all doesn't sit well with one migrant advocacy group.
Those are the people, the face of the department. And sometimes these are the first times kids have any interaction with the officer. And of course, you know, it's going to get out that he was fired for making some racial comments. And it's going to be disturbing to some of the kids that are there.
The chiefs of police who hired the officers each told us they believe in second chances and that the 2 officers are excelling in their new roles. Records show that the other officer involved, Megan Joy, has kept her state police certification but is not currently working in law enforcement. A former police officer in Loveland will be back in federal court this week, accused of sexually assaulting a teenage girl while on duty. Dylan Miller was arrested in November 2023, shortly after the teenager reported he approached her and a friend in a park in Loveland. The teenager told police that Miller sent her friend away and then assaulted her in a secluded area. He was placed on leave, then fired the day he was arrested. Miller's trial began last week, continued today with emotional testimony from the girl's grandmother. She described a dramatic shift in her granddaughter's behavior after the alleged assault, said that her granddaughter ran away before finally telling her grandparents that a police officer had assaulted her.
9 News Investigates has learned this month's large fentanyl bust at a storage unit in Douglas County is part of a multi-state federal investigation. Court documents show more than 5 million fentanyl pills were seized across Colorado and New Mexico as part of the same operation. Officials in New Mexico announced a record seizure this month, along with 16 arrests. Among them, a man who DEA identified as a Sinaloa cartel leader. The next day, here in Colorado, that man's brother was arrested during a bust where authorities found 800,000 pills. And last week, investigators uncovered another 1.7 million inside a storage unit in Douglas County. Deputies say someone bought what looked like an abandoned locker and immediately called authorities.
Minutes of that phone call, they were able to link this seizure that you see here to an ongoing and active DEA investigation.
At this point, at least 20 people have been arrested in this case.
A new statewide survey shows nearly a third of Coloradans struggle to afford basic necessities like housing, food, and health care, and renters are getting hit the hardest. The 2025 Colorado Health Access Survey found 11% of Coloradans reported having trouble paying their rent or mortgage this year. Renters specifically had a harder burden. 48% reported affordability problems compared to 27% of homeowners. Here in Denver, eviction filings tell a similar story. The Denver metro area has seen just under 14,000 eviction filings so far this year, slightly down from last year's 16,000, but still drastically higher than pre-pandemic levels.
This decrease obviously is important to celebrate, but it's not enough to show us that there's a significant change happening.
Survey also found that more than a quarter of Coloradans say they put off health care due to the cost, and 1 in 10 said they didn't have enough to eat.
A Denver court confirms strippers are workers who are protected under the city's wage laws. The decision backs a Denver auditor's investigation that found clubs like Diamond Cabaret and Rick's Cabaret committed wage theft. Investigators say the clubs refused to provide payroll records and argued dancers weren't covered by city rules. Despite multiple appeals from the clubs, the court sided with Denver labor, saying the city does have the authority to investigate and enforce wage laws. The strip clubs at the center of the court battles say they will appeal again. The auditor's office is also trying to get Diamond Cabaret and Rick's Cabaret to pay nearly $14 million in restitution for more than 200 workers.